we were required to use a certain amount of minorities. And then when we went to the Indian reservation, then there was a program called TERO, T-E-R-O, Tribal Employment Rights Office, and later went to Tribal Employment Rights Opportunities. But we didn't need to have that because we used them anyway. And take, for example, on the first contracts that we did on the Kickapoo Reservation, there were 10 bridges we ultimately built there, but the first built 7. And so we took our core crew. Our core crew included 3 people, which would be the superintendent, a foreman, and someone that ran the small machinery. And the rest of them, we went to the tribal office and said, you can be our people that be our manpower. And so they were very agreeable to that. So I would say, next week we will need 3 carpenters, and then another time we're going to need 6 laborers, all that. So I'd say average of 20. So 17 of those would be tribal members, and then the other 3 would be our core crew. When we went to Haskell and we did all this work, we had 37 workers at the time, and the federal government came and made a survey to look at, see if they were being paid correctly. So they did all the survey, and we had 37 workers, 36 of them were natives. And afterwards, the inspector came to me and says, you know, I've been in the federal program inspector for 22 years. He says, I've never had to ask someone to do this. But he says, you had to hire another white person. And so we had an in-house architect, so we moved him on site to give us I think we had to have at least 7%. And so that made us just under 7, but he allowed us to do that. But that was kind of unusual. And the rest of the workers were all, well, I think somewhere around, I think we had 1 black, 2 Hispanic, and the rest of them were natives. In fact, one of the persons that came work later became the chairperson of the Kickapoo tribe, and he was working with us at that time. Another one is in New York now and has a large tobacco company. He sells cigarettes to a lot of different tribes throughout the United States. And so that's what we find out when we go to Haskell, or when I was at Haskell. A lot of those students are in positions of leadership now.